coming back from Jacksonville? What was that the day after? What was it like for you, just from family and friends and everything?
Well, I didn't get to charge it, so it was dead. So I didn't get to look at it till I got home. But, as you can imagine, a lot of family, friends hit me up with amazing support, and it was lovely.
How much, if any, do you hear from your former teammates in Miami, like when you had a big game like this? Did a lot of them reach out to you about it?
Oh yeah, they reach out to me almost every game. There's still family over there. I love all those guys over there. And, I actually reached out to them as well. I heard they beat Florida State. It's always good to beat Florida State. So it's a good one.
You had said after the game that you weren't hurting at all, but you didn't know what you were going to feel like tomorrow. I noticed you getting some treatment earlier this morning. How's it feel for this week? You think you're going to be fine to go?
Yeah, I should be fine. It's just maintaining your body, keeping your body nice and warm for the week. So I should be straight.
When you were going through the graduate transfer process, what was it about Georgia that really stood out to you, made this the place you wanted to come?
Really just Coach Coley and Coach Smart. Getting an opportunity to play with them. It's once in a lifetime opportunity. Both of them coached at the same time. So really just them and having Jake as a quarterback. Couldn't ask for any better situation.
And did you think you were going to have sort of the season that you're having right now, posting career best numbers?
I mean, that's what every receiver dreams of. But like I said, I'm just here to help the team as much as I can. Whether it's catching the ball, whether it's blocking, whether it's scout team, it doesn't matter what my role was going to be. I just came here to help the team win and get a national championship.
I know you wanted to be featured. Anybody wants to be. In Miami, it was tough for various reasons. When did you know you could be the guy here?
I really think, given my talents and what I know I'm capable of doing since I started playing football, I could do good at any level against any competition and any conference, really. Just here was a better opportunity, I thought, for me in Miami. It hasn't been disappointing since I came here, so I thank you for the opportunity that they gave me, and just trying to enjoy it as much as I can.
How quickly did you get a sense that you and Jake had it seems like you guys have been playing together for years, and yet it's only been a few months.
Yeah, Jake, probably after Coach Cole and Coach Smart was the third person to reach out to me. And just saying, like, we can do great things here. And I think on the way to do that, trying to do even more. Trying to, like I said, bring a national championship here. But yeah, me and Jake's relationship good. It's like a locker next to me, so I see him every day, even if I don't want to see him.
Was there a time after working with him initially that you kind of knew it was going to click as well as it has?
I mean, that just comes with repetition. Me and him, even in practice, outside of practice, working with stuff that they gave us trouble in practice, and working on it after practice just to perfect the craft, and that's what really it takes to get to that championship level. So.
What about this offense as a whole? It still seems like, it was 300-something yards or whatever. We've seen this offense go for 400, 500 plus. Does it feel like that they're still just close, haven't quite reached the level that this offense is capable of?
I mean, yeah, as offensive coaches, as offensive players in general, even if you get 500 yards, you want 600. Even when you get 600, you want 700. So I think it's always, there's room for improvement in any game, no matter how good you play. So yeah, we can get better each and every week.
Georgia's still known as a run-first team, and Coach Smart talked after the game about defenses lining up, 5 on the front against you guys. What kind of opportunity does that present for guys like you, on the perimeter?
Well, it helps the perimeter guys a lot to have running backs like DeAndre Swift, Brian Herring, James Cook, Zamir White, Kenny McIntosh, all guys that can go in and dominate at any point in the game. So it really opens things up for us. We see a lot of single coverage, and as a receiver, you couldn't ask for anything better than one-on-one matchups. So once we take advantage of them, it opens the whole offense up.
I know you're basically new to Georgia, but how much do the younger receivers kind of ask for help sometimes, maybe because you do have the most experience at all?
Yeah, that's a tough thing. Even though when I was a freshman, it's hard. You look up at people, but it's hard to ask. So I try to talk to them and reach out to them as much as I can, give them as much knowledge as I can. But, I've been around the block a few times, and try to give them as much experience as I possibly can for them to go out and play on Saturdays comfortably. And I think the young guys have.
Lawrence, are you a Baltimore guy, a Towson guy? Tell me about your upbringing in that area and kind of how you got to be from there to here.
Yeah, so I grew up in West Baltimore, born and raised. Tough area, but some loving parents, loving family in general. My high school was Towson. Calvin Hall College High School got a couple players in the NFL, a couple players in the NBA. So it really wasn't that crazy. Had a great support system, whether it was my high school coaches, my basketball coaches, baseball coaches. And really it was just, by the grace of God that I'm here right now.
I know your career in Miami had some fits and starts, promising freshman year, then the ACL. You start to feel, I guess, last year you're getting in the role and then things happen. What is it like for it to all suddenly come together here instead of?
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny because, like I said, as a recruit, I wanted to come here, but receivers committed before I played. So now having a season, a good season here at a school that I wanted to come from the jump, it's incredible. So that's really all you guys.
What do you remember about being recruited here and wanting to come here? Who was B-Mac McClellan, wide receivers coach?
I think so. And then Van Jefferson. Was committed. He tried to get me to come here with him.
And then Van goes to Ole Miss first. So do you remember which receivers committed ahead of you?
Jason
took your spot. Jason Stanley.
That's one of my closest friends. He told me he was.
It's all a circular thing too, like Mark Rick.
Yeah, that's funny.
Miami
is in Miami. I can stand here. It's like wow.
Have you had a chance? Has it hit you yet that you're doing all this? Like I said, it's come together finally here.
I mean, yeah, but like I said, whatever the team needs to get a win, I'm here. Like I said, scout team was as leading everybody.
Have your teammates at Miami hit you up to let you know that, hey, I saw you make that catch, I saw you make that play, and I'm sure you developed some good relationships there, and they're proud of what you've been doing here?
Yeah. I talk to them. I talk to a lot of those guys every day. Group chat with a lot of those guys. I talk to them right after the game, let them know that it's still good to beat FSU. And that was a great win. They congratulated me.
Lawrence, what's the origin of the first time that you contacted Kirby or vice versa? When did that happen? Who reached out first?
Are you talking about like all the way back?
Well, I'm talking about when you were transferred.
Okay. He actually contacted me first after I put my name in a little portal thing. How that worked, I just knew. And then he and Coach Coley called me on FaceTime.
And what kind of history did you have with Kirby? I know you had it with Coley, but how about Kirby in recruiting days?
Yeah, so when I was kind of committed to Alabama for a little bit, he was him, Coach Kiffin, Coach Lance Thompson, my main recruiters there. I used to sit in Coach Kirby's office every time I went to Alabama, just chilling. So I had a great relationship with Kirby since 15.
And what are some things you've learned about him that you didn't know before you were one of his players?
I didn't know how intense he was at practice. That was fun. My first practice, it was just different because Coach Rick doesn't do all that. He's a laid-back type guy, and Coach Smart is more. He's a player. That's what he was. So he's just acting like how he was if he had a helmet on. That was really different.
And on your long touchdown catch Saturday, did you see that it was the right call pre-snap and you were going to be that wide open, or did it just develop?
I think the play just developed pre-snap. I didn't know, but as soon as I saw a couple of defenders go different ways and I see where I was, I knew that was the right play call. Play was perfect.
After the game, you mentioned how you'd watched the South Carolina game over again, and what the announcers were saying about you guys as receivers. I mean, the doubt was there for you, for the receivers, for the offense. I mean, now that you've had some time to reflect on it, is there a sense of satisfaction that comes with putting a good game together like that? Probably not your best game, but still a really good one, and winning a big game like that. Is it kind of like a take that type thing?
I don't think it's satisfaction. My dad always told me you get satisfied, you get complacent. We're still hungry. We still feel like people still sleeping on receiver course in general, on the offense in general. So we're still trying to get out and improve things. The whole nation really.
Any confidence that kind of comes with showing yourself, maybe that you can kind of play better than you maybe have done earlier in the season? Not necessarily you, but just the receivers, the offense in general.
Yeah, I don't think we ever lost confidence. I think it's just really just getting out there and putting it on tape. Really, confidence. I think the whole group we practice amazing. Last through the bye week there, and it really reflected through the game. You can see that. So I think the whole group has confidence. Going into Missouri, we're doing good.
As another pass catcher, even though he's tight end, Alberto from Missouri, what are your thoughts about him as a player and challenges he presents to your defense?
Yeah, he's a good player. Clearly one of the top tight ends in the country. I think Coach Smart, Coach Landon, those guys gonna have a good game plan. Try to slow him down probably. But like I said, he's a heck of a player. Definitely on our radar. I watch for him like it's nothing. So I've seen him pop up a lot. He's definitely a game changer.
Can you sense during a game that the line is stoning him in the pass protection, and that you're going to have the ability to run the routes and make plays downfield?
Yeah, it's kind of hard because I really can't see because I'm worried about corners and stuff. But what really reflects that to me is, like I said, the third down versus 12 to 18. That's all on the O-line and Jake. You got that amount of time to go to the ball and just sit back and really play pitch and catch with us. That's all reflection.
What's your role this week as you come off such an adrenaline high and then you take on a team that's kind of struggling right now? What's your role to keep your teammates focused?
Consistency. We got to, since we did it against a top 10 team, now we got to do it every week. You can't take any plays off. You can't take any week off. It's because we won a big game doesn't mean every game in that season is a big game. That's really good consistency.
You mentioned the time you spent at Alabama during the recruiting process. Do you remember it was your mom who said she didn't want you going there?
Really, they just didn't. I just didn't communicate with them a lot. It was all good. It was just miscommunication with the whole thing. But all it worked out. But really, just I think it was both my parents. Just miscommunication between me and them.
How do you feel about you still have half a season left, but your college career now versus when you were at Miami in terms of trending up and obviously hoping to play on the next level? How much is that driving you personally as you chase team goals as well to kind of increase your stock?
Well, ultimately team goals is first. You can only go so far as a team. So as the team goes, I go, we go, and like I said, as a young kid, you always dream about playing in the NFL. So that's obviously a dream of mine. But first, I'm worried about the team. Really trying to, get to Missouri, get to Texas A&M, get to Auburn, get to Georgia Tech, and finish the season out strong.
Back in high school, you played baseball. You were on the track team for a while. How did you decide on football, and what was that decision like for you when you focused solely on that sport?
Yeah, so really it was just a matter of how many scholarships I had, offers I had at the time. At the time, football was really just taking off. I still had looks in other sports, but it was just like I had so many offers, and this is like, well, this is inevitable. So really it was hard to turn down baseball because that was like my first sport I ever played, as well as basketball. But and I played track for fun. I really didn't take it serious at all.
You set records.
And that's the crazy part. Like I literally didn't mean to at all. And but it was a fun experience. And I think it helped me in all. Just playing multiple sports, you get to see how teams are formed and how to interact with different teammates. And I think that's molded me into the guy that I've come today.
Thank you.
What position did you play in baseball?
Center field.